Listen, she's just up there getting into dog stuff. Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna break some afternoon delight. I've always been when it's right, it's right. Oh, while waiting to the middle of a cold dark night, when everything's a little clearer in the light of day. Hey, and does that make it better or worse? Worse. Why can't this thing ever be straight? Hello everyone and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, and good morning. It's a channel all about...
Oh, that was my cue.
Yeah.
Sorry, go again.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about...
board games.
And...
not having a good setup.
Yeah. I mean, we thought we'd have it figured out by now, but we just can't seem to figure it out. Like, we're not in the center. We never will be.
Don't point it out because then they'll notice it.
Well, you obviously can notice it because there's more space on your side than there is on my side. Unless I do this. Point is, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday.
Is this better?
Yep. It's another episode of Board Games and Brew. We got our hot tea.
Where's the tea from? Great question. Glad you asked.
Great question. It's really hot. Glad you asked. The tea that we are drinking today is from Many Worlds Tavern. So Many Worlds Tavern was kind enough to send us some loose leaf tea as well as some coffee.
This tea is very good.
The tea that we're drinking today is called Nectarine Stream, and it's a peachy white tea. And it's really cool because every time that they send you a tea, you also get like this, well, let's see. Let's put it up here. Focus. Don't focus on my eye. Every time they send you a little card, and the card has like cute art. It tells you where the tea is from. The tea is from China. It's blended white tea, is low caffeine, and it's for your inner child. And then there's like this really cool zombie, which I love. Thank you to Many Worlds Tavern for sending us this tea. We're going to have all of their information linked below. This is not a sponsored video, but the link below is an affiliate link. So if you decide that you would like to buy some tea or coffee, it gives us some kind of percentage. To be honest with you, we don't know what that is, nor do we care. We just like the...
We just like their stuff.
We just like their stuff. So feel free to check it out if you're interested. We are back again today to do another board game snapshot. We just have a lot of games that we need to review this month, so we're doing another snapshot. We've already done one. If you're interested to see the 5 games that we already covered, you can check out that video. I might link it below, and guess what? I might not. Sometimes I forget. Anyways, we have 5 more games that we want to talk to you about today, and Jeffy, would you like to get it kicked off?
You didn't realize that you did that, and then you did realize, and you were like, I'm going to spin this into something funny.
Kickstart it.
You may have seen us play this already on our Twitch stream, which you should definitely go check out.
Go check out our Twitch.
That is Senso, Battle for Japan. And this is from Stone Sword Games, and it was sent to us for this snapshot from Stone Sword Games. So thank you for that to them for that.
Yes, and they are sponsoring this portion of the video, so also thank you to them for that.
Senso Battle for Japan is a trick-taking war game. And you might be like, what?
What?
In that little tiny box? And let me tell you, this game has a little bit of everything I love. The theme of this is 1500s feudal Japan. You are playing as different Japanese clans, and you are fighting over territories on this map of Japan that comes in very small card form. So you're going to be manipulating cubes around this map. It's pretty much area control, area majority scoring. So you have these cubes that represent your clan factions, and you can move them around the board or eliminate other players' clan cubes by taking tricks. So the more tricks that you take, there are conflict resolution options that you can do depending on how many tricks that you take. So if you take a bunch of tricks, it actually allows you to do 2 actions. So one action might be to replace a clan faction cube with your own, or it might be moving one adjacent to where yours currently is. There's different areas with different victory point conditions depending on how far up on that track you are. The person with the most victory points at the end is usually the person that controls the highest priority areas plus dominates certain areas on the map. And that's basically the game.
It's trick-taking.
It's trick-taking at its core,
yeah,
with a really neat little war game attached to it. So it is a standard 52 deck of cards. There are 2 ninja cards that do act as a superior trump suit. So a ninja card's going to trump everything.
Yeah.
And then if 2 ninjas get played out, there's a jade ninja that would trump the other ninja.
The brown ninja.
In terms of the game, very, very much enjoy it. I mean, I love trick-taking. The theme really hits with me. I love war games, so adding that little nuance to this is really, really cool. We've had a blast playing it. And again, like, if you want to see this gameplay, we do have it on Twitch.
And you can watch it on our second channel, Foster the Meeple Rewind.
So,
which is where we put all of our playthroughs on.
If you're interested in checking out how the game's played, you can head over there and check it out. We've only played it at 2-player.
Yeah.
I will say at 2-player, there's a little bit more luck element with the actual map, just because you're really just back and forth taking your pieces off. I really want to try this at 4, and I think we are going to play it at 4 soon.
Yeah, this weekend.
I do think it would play best at 4.
Yeah.
And it plays up to 5.
At the 5-player count, there's a new faction called the Emperor that plays differently than the other factions. And I don't know if you mentioned, but like every round, a new trump suit is determined by like sliding down one of the clan cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, you know, trick-taking isn't always my favorite mechanic because I'm inherently bad at trick-taking. However, I'm relatively good at this game.
The Emperor doesn't want any of the clan factions to take over the map.
No.
So the Emperor's goal is actually to contain control of Japan and actually have the clan factions off the board.
Yeah.
Which is really, really neat.
That is Senso, Battle for Japan. Check out the playthrough if you're interested. Ciao. Next game we have on the list is called Ancient Terrible Things Reawakened, and this is from Pleasant Company Games, and this game was sent to us for review as well. So in Ancient Terrible Things, you are an adventurer, and you are exploring ancient terrible things. You are fighting monsters. You are going through this dark jungle, and basically at the core of this game, it is a push your luck game. So on the board, there are like 5 different locations, and then you're going to populate different encounter type cards with like monsters on them, and then it's going to show you on the card what you need to roll in order to defeat that monster. So on your turn, basically, you are placing your player token on one of the free locations that has one of the monsters on it. You're going to do the actions that that location allows you to do. Now, as the player that's placing, you get to do one thing on your own, and then everybody else gets to do the second thing. So it's kind of like minimal downtime in that aspect of the game.
Definitely.
Then what you're going to do is you are going to roll a butt ton of dice, bunch of dice, which the dice throughout the game can be upgraded into different colors. You can add more dice. You can make your dice pool more robust.
Tons of mitigation.
Tons of mitigation. And basically why you're doing that is because every encounter that you have to do is laying out a specific like sequence of dice that you need to roll. So it might be 3 of a matching type. It might be a sequence of 4 dice, or it might be like a Yahtzee, 6 of one number. It comes with this really neat dice tower. It's a riverboat. You're going to roll all of your dice into this dice tower, and then from those dice, you are trying to create the sets that you're trying to get to defeat the encounters. You have different gear in front of you, as well as swag, which you can purchase throughout the game, that are going to give you like different bonuses. So spend one of your green chips in order to lock however many of these dice and then re-roll the rest of your die. Throughout the game, you can purchase more of those cards to kind of build up your abilities a little bit more. You also have fate cards that you can pay for with your chips, and those are one-time use, and once again, they might let you add dice or do other things. It's a push your luck game, really. You are just going through and trying to defeat the different monsters. The monsters do get more difficult. There's different levels. If you fail to defeat a monster, you have to take a tentacle token.
Correct.
And those are negative points at the end of the game.
And the more of those that like kind of get taken, like it's a stack.
Yeah.
And so the further down that tentacle pile you get, the more negative points it's going to be worth. You can play at varying different lengths. You can also, there's a solo campaign in this game, which I haven't had the chance to play yet, but it plays 1 to 4 players, and
It says 60 minutes, but if you play a short game, I would say we got through that in about half an hour.
Yeah, with Teach.
With Teach. However, to be fair, we were rolling horribly, and we just got through the tentacle stack really quickly.
Yeah, and this is a prototype copy as well.
But if you're looking for like a fun little push your luck game, the theme is really cool. The aesthetics of the game are really kind of like
lots of dice,
creepy and like spooky, and it's very jungly, and
it's like spooky kiddish.
Yeah, like it's not
spooky
like
cartoony.
It's very kind of cartoony. There's like different characters and stuff like that, and yeah, it's really neat. We love push your luck games, so
yeah.
In a really cool dice tower.
The dice tower is really cool.
Check it out.
Next up, we have from Wise Wizard Games,
Kapow!
This copy was sent to us. Well, I guess
it was gifted to us
at PAX by Wise Wizard Games. So thank you to them for that. Kapow is a pretty straightforward dueling game. So you can play this at 1v1 or 2v2. Think a la Dice Throne.
Yeah.
You are rolling dice. So, sorry, let me back up. You are playing as generic comic book characters. One villain, one hero. And you have a screen in front of you with a bunch of abilities that you're able to do. It's just kind of like a screen that shows you what your character can do and yada, yada, yada. In front of you, you have a really beautiful little player board. So you're going to be rolling dice, and you can only roll once. But essentially, you're going to roll dice once, and those dice faces all have different symbols on them. And depending on those symbols, you can do a plethora of actions. There's attack actions, there's defense actions, there's instant actions, there's overpower actions, there's all of these things you can do. So many options.
And each villain or hero has some asymmetrical actions that they can do as well.
But what's really cool in Kapow, though, is there are dice that you actually can build yourself. So
it's like Lego dice.
What do you mean by that, Jeff?
There
is a black dice and a bunch of different dice faces that actually snap into the dice. You might have an action that lets you take one of those dice and then add new dice faces to your pool, and then at the end of your action phase, you're going to actually start snapping those pieces onto your dice. So maybe you have a character that you really want to beef up their attack. And you would just grab a ton of red dice faces because that's the the muscle, the fists, and then you just start putting that all over this black die because you get to roll it and add it to your abilities. So it's I've never seen that before. I've never seen really cool. A dice builder.
Yeah,
I guess literally. If you want to put a term on it, but you're just battling back and forth, and the first person to get knocked out loses. Yep. That's it. There's no card play, though.
Yeah, no cards, all dice. And another cool thing, I don't know if you mentioned, each player comes with, like, a screen.
I did mention the screen.
And my favorite part is when you're like, 1, 2, 3, reveal!
That's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're rolling at the same time, choosing your actions, and then you stop. And then you reveal.
Yeah.
It's basically so that
everything in secret.
It's basically so that no one can, like, cheat and, like, change things after the fact and what have you. You reveal, and then it's like, attack, defend, on to the next round. Super snappy, really no downtime.
No.
And it's really cool to like build out those dice.
Yeah.
We've only played it 1v1. I do think the 2v2 option would be cool.
Yeah.
My only thing with this is it doesn't have a ton of characters in it.
Yeah,
there's only
3 villains and 3 heroes.
Yeah, 3 villains, 3 heroes. So I could see that getting a bit stale quickly.
What? Oh, this is volume 1.
Right.
I wonder how many more there are. We only have this one. I am excited to keep playing this. I think if you've got anybody or if you yourself enjoy like that comic book aesthetic, if you like Dice Throne, then this is something that you might be interested in checking out.
This art that you're seeing is like all over the game.
It's very, very, very comic book. Like superhero comic book. That is the aesthetic.
Yeah, very comic booky, cartoony.
Now, the next game has been sitting on that old shelf of shame for a long, long time, and that is Tales from the Loop. Now, this was sent to us from Free League, I don't even know, early last year.
A while ago.
Yeah, if not 2021. And we finally got it to the table. This is a game that I've been excited to play, so I don't know why it took us so long. But essentially, this is a scenario-based cooperative game set in the 80s.
In Sweden.
In Sweden. Now,
I just want to say quickly, this is based off of an RPG.
Yeah, and there's a TV show.
That Free League Publishing has put out. Yeah.
Did you know there's a TV show?
I didn't.
You are playing as a teenager. Kids in the 80s. And that is integral to this board game and this story because essentially each character has different like strengths, weaknesses, and then they also have like a cool item. But like at the beginning of the game, you start off at school. And the game is played, each scenario is played either over 1 week or 2 weeks. So you go through Monday through Friday. Every beginning of that round, you start at school. You're listening for rumors and all that good stuff. And then you are going out into the city to find those rumors and to solve some problems. There's also robots running amok.
Yeah, it's like an alternate kind of...
It's an alternate universe.
Universe type thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Each scenario is going to tell you what kind of robots are out, how they move, what they're going to do, and then it kind of gets revealed as you play the scenario what the goals actually are. So you don't know up front when you start the scenario, this is what we need to do. Nope. You get one card, it's going to read out to you, and it's going to say, when this happens, either flip this card or pull out this card. But if this happens, pull out this card. So the game can actually go in slightly different directions, even depending on the scenario.
Correct.
Basically, you are going to be doing different skill checks throughout this game by rolling dice. And like I said before, everybody has different strengths. Because you're teenagers and you're friends, you can help each other to do stuff. What is also really cool, at the end of the second phase of the game, you have to make sure that you get home. Because if you don't get home, then your parents will get mad at you. And then eventually, if they get really mad at you, you get grounded and you lose your turn.
You lose your whole round.
Yeah. And another cool thing is at the very beginning of the week, each week, you pull chore cards, and you have to make sure that you finish all of your chores by the end of the week. So the first week you have to finish them by Friday, second you have to finish them by Thursday, or your parents are going to get mad at you.
And they give you bonuses if you complete them and stuff.
Yeah, it's wild. And then yeah, you're going around, you're solving rumors. If you do good on your skill check for the rumor, you get benefit. There's items. The different items can like work together to create like this extra power, which will give you maybe more dice or maybe an auto success or whatever it may be.
An example is like if you get a bike and this one made us laugh.
Yeah.
If you can get a bike item and a
club item,
baseball bat, you can do a combined action benefit, which is called a hit and run. So some things will come up in the game, scenarios, triggers will come up, and it's like, if you have hit and run, do this. And that's if you have a bike and a bat. And Jamie and I were like, imagine just biking up and then
yeah. It is very 80s. Very 80s. Very thematic. It is so much fun. I really, really loved it. I am so excited to keep playing it. I played as Clara the bookworm, and Jeff played as Jonas the Hick.
Jonas the Hick.
With a big heart.
Big heart. So there are, I think, 5 or 6 scenarios. But you also have this open-ended adventure option as well, called like Mystery Islands. So there's a bunch of different stuff you can do in this game. The other thing I want to mention is like, there's a really cool thing where you go through Monday to Friday, but then on weekend, so everything's based on time. So all of your actions are time-based during the day. But on weekends, you get more time because you don't have to be home as early. You don't have to go to school, so you actually get more time tokens on the weekend, time cubes. And I just thought that was a really cool thematic way of like doing that in this game. The artwork is super, super cool.
Yeah. And the story is funny and it's like intertwined. So each card has flavor text, but even then within the actions and things, like you're going to giggle a little bit as you read it because it's just so 80s.
It gave me like, for 2 reasons, it gave me a little bit of like initiative vibes. There's no real like code breaking or anything like the initiative has, but you're playing
hacking.
You're playing kids and you're trying to uncover a bunch of mysteries. It's like Stranger Things, but like not horror themed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
you're just a bunch of kids going around this town trying to figure out, like, maybe why these robots are acting up or what have you.
And you can hack the robots, and then you can ride them around the city.
Yeah, and then you can, like, ride them around and prove your, like, speed and, like, hop on the bus to get around the city. Like, it's really, really interesting.
I loved it. Yeah. I would not want to play it at more than 2.
No, I think it's a great 2-player game.
Perfect 2-player game. Yeah.
Last one we have is...
my new love.
Oracle of Delphi. And this is a TMG game. Yep. And is Stefan Feld.
Mm-hmm. And this is a Grail game.
This is one of our Grail games. Thank you to Tim. Our main man, Tim, for helping us find this. And we just finally got a chance to play it. It's an objective-based game where there's pick up and deliver mechanic, but there's also like a battle mechanic for monsters. The theme is pretty straightforward. You are trying to complete 12 quests for Zeus. You are doing that by traveling around this map to different locations to fulfill those quests. How do you do that, you ask? Where does the Oracle come in? Well, the Oracle represents your dice. And you are going to be rolling dice, different colored dice, that are going to allow you to do different actions on your turn. So, for example, let's just say you needed to defeat a red monster. You would need a red dice in order to do that. But there's some dice mitigation movement rules.
Dice are everything. Like, it's how you move. It's how you do actions. It's everything.
So you can, like, move your dice around this Oracle track if you need a certain color type, etc., etc. But you're basically just traveling around this map, trying to fulfill Zeus's quests faster than all of your opponents, and then get back to Zeus to basically tell him or,
I did it.
Fulfill those requirements to him, and then you win the game. Yeah.
This game, amazing. I didn't win, and I loved it.
And it's got a really unique modular board that can change things up all the time. Yeah, and all the quests can be somewhat asymmetrical, so you're not always going after the same things. Yeah. But yeah, very, very much enjoyed this one.
And there's part of it that's almost like being on a bit of a wild goose chase, because there's some tokens that are face down, and you're specifically like Jeff said, there's some asymmetry in terms of, like, I, as an example, needed to deliver something to an alpha symbol and an omega symbol, and Jeff had to deliver it to a beta symbol and an omega symbol. So you have to go around and, like, flip things and be like, not there, so I've traveled all the way here for no reason. I gotta book it on over there.
But now your opponent knows where that is.
Yeah, it's great. I loved it. I didn't know what to expect. I knew nothing about this game. This was, like, definitely a Jeff purchase. And I am obsessed with it. Like, I want to play it this weekend. I want to play it over and over and over again.
What's really, the dice manipulation mechanic is, I don't want to say it's unique, but it's very interesting, especially for the movement in this game. So you're basically ripping around on your ship. And your ship only has so many, like, storage locations that you can, like, maybe you need to move a statue from location A to B. So you only have 2 places you can put stuff on your ship. But what's neat is, like, all of the hexes on the board are color-coded. So let's just say you needed to move in the north direction, but you don't have a dice to get to where you need to go. Yeah. Like, it limits your movement. So, like, if you need to land on a red token, well, you need a red dice in order to do that. The colors of the dice are super important. I just thought it was a really unique way to travel around the map. I'd never really seen anything like that in a modular board that way, so it was really, really interesting. Yeah, and there's different cards that you're going to collect that allow you to do different things and give you special powers. And then what I found to be the most difficult part is, what is the thing where what are the things? And then you're like, you lose a turn. They're curses? Injuries. Yeah, so you can collect injuries, and if you get 3 of the same color, then you lose a whole turn. Or if you get, like, 5 or 7 total, you lose a whole turn. And that's terrible. That's to represent the Titans attacking you at the end of every, like, full round. The Titans will attack, so you have to prepare to defend against the Titans. Otherwise, as Jamie mentioned, you'll take a bunch of injury cards, and then you might lose a turn. You're trying to, like, increase your shield, and anyways, I didn't increase my shield, and I just kept dying. And you can, like, increase favor with, like, different gods, which will give you different benefits. Like, there's a whole different track that you can go up to earn favor of different gods, depending on things that you do. Yeah. And they'll give you bonus abilities and stuff. It's awesome.
So good.
So good.
So good. Love it.
I'm very glad we found a copy and we're able to get it played. We're actually going to play it again sometime soon at 4.
Yes. So that is 5 more board games that we have been playing lately. Would love to know down below if you've tried any of these. What do you think? If you're interested in them, would love to know. But that's everything that we have for you today. Now, if you're interested in buying board games, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is...
The Boardroom Game Cafe.
Heck yeah, it is. If you like snacks, check out Munch Pack. Num num num. Delicious. We have a code that you can get $5 off your subscription and stuff. That is all that we have. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later days.
Light. More. I think this whole table has shifted, right? Playing cards. They've got playing cards.
Today.
Yes. So thank you to Many Worlds Tavern for sending us, what?
You said tonight.
This morning. Right. Totally. Because it's super early in the Saturday of mornings.
Because you're going to cut to the anyway.
Exactly, Jeff. Now you're getting it. Do I have a droopy eye?
Yeah.
I do, don't I?
No.
Oh. Like one of these, I feel like my eyes are getting droopier as I get older. Need a lift.